Us, everyone. Thanks for being a part of the Kyokushin Shuffle. As always, very, very special guest that I get in contact with, and I'm very fortunate this episode to have two awesome lads that are kicking ass at the minute, literally on the YouTube platform. I can't wait to you guys to meet these gentlemen. Can I introduce from the UK in London, Sensei Darren Stringer? And I'll introduce Wesley, Sensei Wesley Wilbrink from Holland. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
This is going to be cool. So we'll do our best here. I'm on the bottom of the planet, like I said earlier. I'm in Australia, Melbourne, and we're in lockdown, and you lads are on the top of the planet. And it's 8 p.m. or roughly here, and it's 11 in the morning as such, where you gentlemen are. So thank you so much for your time. Let's get stuck into this. This is going to be fun, and all the listeners, you'll understand why it's going to be fun, because we're going to try and build something here with the KRT Lads, with their YouTube channel as such, but also, see the family side and the relationship side of someone from the bottom of Australia all the way up to the top of the UK and in Holland, in how we all have similar passions, similar lifestyles as such, and we're driven so much by our style. So I'm going to hand it over to each one of you, but Sensei Darren, give us a brief, give us a background on yourself, fire away, talk up as much as you want, mate, and then we'll pass it on to Wes.
Yeah, no worries. Well, first of all, Pat, thanks for having us, Kyokushin Shuffle, etc., coming on here. It's a big pleasure for us. So background, I'm 38 now. I've been training for about 30 years. I started in South London in Crystal Palace. So my first instructors was Hanshi Steve Arneill and Joe Borg. I don't really know why I got started in karate, to be fair. I just remembered that I always wanted to do it. It's probably some form of watching Bruce Lee on the TV or something along the lines of that. I was just really lucky that my parents knew their best friend's son trained this, and they used to go and watch the British Open as well at Crystal Palace. So I was really lucky to get involved in this style, really. I was in London trained there for about 4 years before we moved to where I live effectively now in Crawley. So been at Crawley I was at Crawley for maybe about 20 years, and then I left there, and now I teach at my own dojo and do my own things, etc. So yeah, about 30 years in karate, which has been pretty good, pretty decent. I've had a decent run at things. Started competing very early age, but in the UK we weren't allowed to do full contact until we got a bit older. Actually, I was the first cadet to have gone abroad and fought knockdown. I went to Canada to fight knockdown with Hanshi when he went over there to teach a seminar at a tournament. So not quite as young as Wes. Wes was fighting really, really young, full contact, because it was allowed in their areas.
Right.
So I mainly had to focus around basics, non-contact fighting for a lot of my early life, really. Not to say that we didn't do pads and stuff, we just was unable to compete. Did okay, won a couple of tournaments as a junior, but I probably started seeing success when I started turning into a senior. If anyone's been around me, you can clearly see that I'm on the small stature side of things. So I think it was a bit more of a struggle when I was a junior, because I was absolutely tiny, like tiny. And so was Wes, to be fair. I think we both had that in common. As juniors, we were little kids, really, really little kids. But yeah, then from kind of the age of 17 onwards, started seeing a really good progression at that time. I was training at Crawley with Hanshi still. I've been really, really fortunate to have him as my instructor for most of my life, and I still try and go down and train with him now when I can. But he's in Wimbledon, and I'm in next to Gatwick Airport, so it's a bit of a trek. I've been really fortunate to have travelled the world and competed in various forms of tournaments. Both myself and Wes, we have a quite good ethos about being good at general karate, not just potentially focusing on a single area. So I think it's really important for a lot of people. And I had a couple of people around me, obviously Hanshi being one of them, that was always promoting all aspects of karate rather than just a single direction.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I wanted to be as good as possible in all areas. Fought in some world tournaments, kata world tournaments as well, non-contact tournaments. Whatever was going, I wanted to do. So if I wanted to do it, I wanted to do the best I could in it. Obviously, that's wanting to win.
Yeah.
Can't win them all, they say, but I sure do try. So I've had various levels of success. I mean, I've been really fortunate to win the British Open a couple of times, a couple of Europeans, 3 world tournaments in kata, world tournament in full contact, and then various places on the podium in full contact. Obviously, the one I won was actually in Australia in the full contact. Back in 2006 in Sydney. So
all right, man. Yes. So yep.
It was quite nice to be down in that neck of the woods. I've never been since. I'd love to go again, but it's a long way. So you can't just pop over there for a weekend, unfortunately.
Nah, and nice segue in respect of why I wanted to get you build the relationship with you lads, you know, because of that reason, you know, but we'll get to that a bit later. But that's fantastic. Go for a little bit more. If not, we'll pass it over to Wes. All good.
Yeah, I mean, that's not much else really there. I currently teach at my dojo. We only have 1 lesson a week because I teach in a leisure centre rather than a full-time place.
Okay.
It would be great if I could, but yeah, I'd like to be able to expand on lessons, build up. Training loads still. Obviously, we're teaching on KRT lessons 4 or 5 times a week at the moment. So what started off as an initial, let's do a couple of videos, throw out some tips and tricks, all of a sudden just spiraled into teaching 5 days a week. And then the little tips and tricks videos kind of fell by the side because we didn't have time for it at that moment, but they'll come back.
Very good.
So, yeah, and that's where we are now.
Awesome.
Really.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And for the Aussie listeners more so, that's why I wanted Darren to share with you his background, and we look forward to Wes. Sensei Wes, go for it.
Yeah, well, thanks. As what Darren said, it's a big honor and a big pleasure for us to be at your show at this podcast. Kyokushin Shelf has been various big names in there, and we're honored to be in that little line of people being presented in here. Well, I can now start my background. I try to make it as glorious as possible, just to not only give Darren some sunshine. No, but I started at a very, very young age. I started with karate. I was I think I was 4 at the time I started, and I'm 30 years old now. So this must be roughly 25 years of training. I actually didn't really. I wasn't really possible to do anything of fighting sports or martial arts because my mom, she was very strict on me. I couldn't watch the Ninja Turtles, Spider-Man, Bruce Lee. It was all frowned upon. She didn't like that. And I was supposed to go and do the speed skating. It's a big sport in Holland, and obviously I still like it. But my uncle, he was a good friend of my trainer, and he was like, "Come on, Wes, let's train a little bit in the attic." So I got my swimming license, and then my mom was like, "So now you can pick a sport. It's going to be ice skating, right?" I was like, "No, I want to do karate." She's like, "What?" How do you want to do this? So I actually had a few lessons with my uncle. I walked in the dojo in a Bruce Lee suit, and I knew all the words. I was saying us to the sensei, saying us to the senpai. They were like, "Who's this little fellow? He knows all the rules and stuff like that." And that's where it started, to be fair. And I was in love straight away. It was amazing. The training there and the whole. It was really. I really got into that. In Holland, it's possible to be competing full contact in a very young age. It's all protected. You wear a helmet, you wear gloves, you wear shin pads and stuff like that. So I think I was training for a few months, maybe 4 or 5 months, and then there was like a Dutch championship, which was held every year. And then my sensei is Antonio de Grassa, who is now Xian. He was saying, yeah, you're quite talented. You'd like to train there and do a fight. It's like, yeah, let's do this. You know, I can do this. And then bear in mind, I think the youngest people doing the fights were like 7, and I was just 5. And the lightest category was 25 to 30 kilograms, and I was like 18 kilograms. So I was on the scales there, and then the Xian who organized it, he was like, so son, how old are you? He's like, I'm 5. Listen, the youngest people here are like 6, 7. So well, step on the scales, and I was like 18 kilograms. He was like, we can't do this. This is unsafe because he's very light. He's very young. And then my Xian, he was like, no, he'll be all right. He'll fight.
That's cool. That's cool.
He trained hard for it, and then I came second. To be fair, I had like 5 fights or something. I came second, and I was in love straight away. I've never stopped. I've only been training there. Started doing kickboxing at like 6 or 7, and I really loved the combination. I trained for like nearly 20 years at the Grassa dojo. Been to a lot of places. Unfortunately, I've never been to Australia, but there's still loads of time to go there, but not as a fighter. As Darren, I always try to be as good as possible in all of the variations of karate. So in kata, I wanted to be good. In kumite, I wanted to be good. Within the IFK, there's the clicker system, the non-contact fighting. I wanted to be good in that as well. I've never competed in it, but we had some British summer camps where we had a lot of fun fighting each other in the non-contact style, which was amazing. And I always try to be as good as possible and train really hard for that. I won a fair few kata tournaments. I won a fair few kumite tournaments. I've been on top of the podium in most tournaments I entered. Not always the highest step, but I've been in I've had a lot of podium prizes where I'm very proud of. 2 British Opens, came 3rd. One together with Darren, which was very cool. Besides all of the fighting, besides all of the competing in great tournaments, we've all made some very, very good friendships around the world.
No doubt.
And this is probably where karate is the most beautiful thing. You fight, you compete, you beat the living hell out of each other, and then after that you just grab a pint or a Coke and have fun with each other. And I think this is the most beautiful thing in the sport. 6 years ago, I started my own club. It's called Hokori Mayo. I've always been working in like commercial jobs as sales managers and stuff. And I really wanted to share my passion with people. I have a vision, and I'd like to share that with the students. I don't care where you train karate, which organization, which dojo. I don't mind. The only thing I want to do is people train karate, and I'd rather have them train Kyokushin karate than any other style. But it's my belief and it's my passion to make karate as great as possible. And I think if you look at the last period of time, I think we did a great job as KRT to share the passion, to show the people what we believe in and how much we love the sport.
Fantastic.
Or the lifestyle, actually.
That's fantastic.
Been a great run.
No, fantastic, lads. Thank you so much for sharing your backgrounds there. It gives us all a bit of a understanding of, again, the biggest word that I get out of both of you is your passion and energy, and it's refreshing. from a long way. It's very refreshing to see. It's authentic as well. You know, there's no trying to shortcut anything. You're doing it, you know, not the best you can, because it's just coming out so naturally. You know, you're not even trying. It's just so fluent. It's so good, and it's very cool. And I guess the praise on that and the segue there is, you know, you kind of gestured both how you guys came up with it together, but it's got legs, similar to how the Kyokushin Shuffle got legs. You know, I had a passion project to interview as many karatekas / Kyokushin karatekas, and I said I'm going to aim for 100 in the year. And I told my wife, I said I'm going to go for 100, and she looked at me like, where's this coming from? Why are you doing this? And I said, I just had a tap on the shoulder, and it's something that I feel that, you know, I've been fortunate to go to travel the world and fight world tournaments and meet all these amazing people. And it's been 20 years, and I get to hear these stories, and then when I get to share them at the dojo, then 30, 40 of my students get to hear it, but not everyone around the world or around Australia gets to hear it. And there's so many good people. And that was the avenue I came in. The avenue that you guys came in, whichever one wants to answer is fine. What was the avenue behind your platform solely, or what were some of the key things that made you both sit down, draw it on a napkin, or what was it that you guys are seeing? Because it's starting to get legs, and hopefully it gets more legs and it continues, you know, onwards and upwards.
Yeah.
You take it, Darren.
Yeah, if I answer initially. Well, we spoke about it before any of the lockdown anyway came along. We was like, hey, what do you think about we do some like little tips and tricks videos? So we were looking at maybe 2 little videos a week, maybe on tips and tricks on how to deliver certain techniques, how to deliver certain elements of katas and things like that, just to kind of give people ideas to either help them achieve what they're currently not, or give them further ideas to branch off. Because that's what most of it is about karate. Everyone's got the kind of same direction. They all want to get better. They all want to improve themselves, but maybe they need just a little bit of an idea to go, oh, well, if I did this and then I did this, then your branch can kind of go off in a different direction. So that was our initial thought. And we thought if we do a couple of videos a week, you know, we focus on maybe some chudama washes one week, some punches the next week, movement drills the following week. Then all of a sudden COVID kind of hit in, and we started out with a couple of videos each week on the tips and tricks. And then we was like, well, none of our students are really training at the moment. So we thought what we could do is we could take this to an online platform. And really, it was really early doors. I think maybe there was a couple of people out there starting to do the online training, but not many. So we was like, maybe if we give our students the opportunity to still maintain training, even though they're not able to. And then, yeah, originally I think we started off with Tuesdays and Thursdays, because my normal dojo lesson is on a Tuesdays, and Wesley had the Dutch squads on the Thursday at the time. And then we both historically had done training on a Saturday in knockdown, and then we was like, oh, maybe we can get a couple of guests on. We didn't anticipate it going probably as big as what it did in terms of guests coming on. You know, we started off with a really good friend of ours, Zolt Ziegler, and we wasn't really sure who would want to come and help us out. But fortunately, we've had great responses and some really amazing guests. And then we've had Wesley's mum. She started then chipping in and taking Keon lessons on a Friday. That's Sensei Conchita. And a really good friend of ours, Sensei Anil Taylor, he has a dojo lesson on a Monday. And then we was like, hey guys, why don't we just combine all of these together so that people have multiple options? Because it's like a normal dojo. Not everyone can make every night of the week or every Tuesday, every Thursday. But we thought if we give them as many options as possible, they've got the platform to pick and choose when they want to train. And to be fair, we've had a lot of people coming 4 or 5 times a week, so it's been great. Anything to add on that, Wes?
Well, no, I think you said it very clearly, and it was funny how it indeed started off with as how can we help out in like our way, using social media most of the time to well, create some extra content for people which they can really use. And then all of a sudden we were like teaching 6 days a week with people asking us for other sessions as well, doing our own sessions. And yeah, it's been an amazing run, and especially like the Super Saturday where we kind of thought about having guests in, and that started off really good, and we had so many people. Like at the moment we asked them, they were like, yeah, let's do this. When are we doing this? And then we had like a waiting line of like 7 or 8 weeks or so before we can actually fill in the spaces. So yeah, it was that was a crazy time and a really good run. So
yeah, that's great.
Hopefully after this we can do we can keep doing this, probably not every week, but we'd like to do this once or maybe twice a month if the world is back to normal again.
Well, yeah, there you have it. I mean, well, that's a very good way of putting everything there. And in again, I try to grasp everything in an hour here, so I appreciate the answers as such, because from here, I was just sharing with Wes earlier. Melbourne, our dojos are closed, yet Chiang Cameron Quinn's dojo in Queensland, they're good. They're open for business, no problem.
Yeah.
And I'm very close friends with Sensei Jonathan Teneo in Spain, which most of us are, and his dojo's just closed, last week. So he's devastated as well. And dojo's closed is the angle where I'm going with is, well, what the hell, like how where else are we going to put our passion? Where else are we going to drive, energy and all the above? And how important, I guess, we all appreciate when dojos aren't closed and when they are closed, And my question back to you guys is, with the world the way it is, and at the age that we are as senseis, all three of us, this pandemic, from the angle for yourself, Darren, in UK, and then Wes in Holland, we've just continued on. We have that tendency, most of us in Kyokushin, to just find a way. Do you feel that? Did you feel that?
There's some background noise now. So you just take this. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, no worries. Yes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we found a way. It by no means replaces the ordinary dojo, and we've promoted from the very beginning that you must support your dojo, because even though KRT sessions are there for absolutely everybody, it's really important that you still maintain and support your local dojos, because after this all ends, we all want to be able to go back to our dojo with as little interference as possible. So even though you may be coming to Wesley and Darren for KRT sessions, there's no reason, especially with the number of classes that we've got on, that you can't still attend your local dojo, join in with other people, and then you get a variety of training, B, your dojo isn't affected, because the last thing we all want is for Kyokushin to dilute and lose members and students, and then they go back and they go, we had 4 or 5 months break. Now we're out of the routine. We don't want to go back, and things like that. So we was very adamant from the beginning about supporting your local dojos, because it's really important that everybody tries to get back to normality as soon as possible once this is over. And we'll still all be around. There may even be online classes that still happen beyond COVID. They won't, 100% they won't be as regular, because the dojos will open, and then people will get that thrill and that adrenaline back from doing pads, feeling people's energy next to them. And what me and Wes have tried to do is create a really good atmosphere in our classes, so that it's as near as possible to what you can kind of experience in the dojo. It's never going to be the same. We all admit that, but I think it's going pretty well at the moment. And we hope that everybody does return back to their dojos, because we're fighting against so many other variables in the world anyway, as full contact karateka or martial artists. You've got kickboxing, Thai boxing, MMA, then you've got karate, and then you've got loads of other styles of karate. So it's really difficult, as it is in a very difficult non-monetary based style of fighting that we do. So we definitely don't want to be losing people.
Yeah, spot on.
In advance of what Darren was saying, that's actually how we kind of really started to make a statement to people that in a lot of fitness branches and in a lot of other branches, you saw people stopping their monthly payments to to their clubs and stuff like that. And we really wanted to get the people to know you can still do karate, you can still do most of the elements, but please don't forget about the dojo, because them people like the senseis and the shihans and senpais who have their own clubs, they've put so much time in that dojo, into building that up and giving you the energy. Please don't forget about them right now in these hard times. And we were very lucky that a lot of people supported and kind of made the movement wider across the world by saying support your local dojo and stuff like that. So that was, I think that was the message behind just having fun online and train together. That there was like a deeply lying message which we try to give to everyone.
Very good, very good. So you both I guess have explored an angle that I am exploring personally with and I'm building a website and an app with 20 years of all my workshops that I've been shown, that I've been taught, that all the camps and so on, and I'm packaging it all together, because again, we have to adapt. I have to adapt quickly here in Melbourne, in Australia, because my dojo might not be open until, as they say, October, November, December, who knows? So I'm packaging everything I can, putting all my content, 5, 6, 7 hours of content into a program, and then I'm selling it, because financially that's just going to be what it has to be, and the platform it is. And the angle I'm alluding to here is the way I'm not trying to put words into your mouth, but the way, how have you guys looked at other people around the world, looked at as in Kyokushin, in research and finding a little bit more knowledge? And because that's what I've done with you guys. And, and when I talk to Shia and Cameron, about you guys, it's been the angle of, sorry, Wes. And then I was, the angle that I'm getting at is, it's been fantastic to be able to see you guys, see how you teach, how you do things, how you interpret things, the language of Kyokushin, all those intricacies that I would never get to see. And there's no way we would have, you've been doing it for so long. So the angle I'm getting at there is, how have you guys seen that with what you've been doing? Have you always looked at all the Japanese content? Have you looked at always the Russian content that's made you kind of go, or has it just been one big, book of knowledge and library as such that you have, and now you're like, listen, here it is, guys, enjoy?
I think if we looked at the start of how we did the videos, it was all there's a lot of content, and there's a lot of very good content online, and there's a lot of not so good content online, and all we try to do is to just share our vision, right? because everybody knows how to throw a left jab, everybody knows how to throw a low kick. But we just might do it a little bit different than the way you do it, and you do it a little bit different than Shi and Cam is doing it, and that's how we actually try to do this. It's like, this is how we do sorts of techniques, and just see this as an extra on all that you had. And obviously we've been traveling the world, and we've got a lot of teachers from all across the globe. And that kind of made the style where both mine and Darren's style are complementing each other. It's still there's still a lot of different things in there, and that's how it kind of rolled in there.
Yeah, and I think the different approach on things is something we really try to promote. Not one thing fits for everybody, and that's why we have so many different guests. And what we do is we let them lead each Saturday their style of things, and we adapt to them, so people can not taking anything away from anybody, and especially myself and Wes, but being taught the same way all the time.
Correct.
Just gives you a one-dimensional process. So all of our guests that we've been having on Saturday are I suppose chosen for several reasons, but one of them is diversity. you know, to get a different approach, different feel, a different person's success, a different person's philosophy that we can then build on and take that forward. Yes, we're, as me and Wes mentioned earlier on, we're very fortunate that we've tried to be really capturing all that karate has to offer us, but it doesn't mean that there's other things out there that can't help both myself and Wes, and definitely all the students that are following us. And I think that's the main importance. Keep.
That's it, and that's a nice summary there, because that's what I was alluding to in respect of, you know, there's, you know, we've been around it for so long, and we've seen so many different I guess angles on following the Japanese heavily because of the content that comes out of there, you know. And I reveal the story of when in 2005, when I first went to Japan, to buy a VHS a video was 100 odd Australian dollars, and we thought it was the ants pants. We thought this was sensational, and it was, you know, rare as, you know, as anything to get Matsui's 100 man, or it was rare as anything to get the, you know, whichever video we got. And then we would try to, you know, make sure that each one of us got it and shared it between. That's 2005. That's only 15 years ago. And you know, and then when, you know, I was fortunate to go back many times, and then the DVD came out of whatever, and DVD, it was like DVD, oh shit, what's going on here? This is fantastic. And again, $100, thanks fellas. And it's like $100, just pay it, just do it. You know, it's rare. It's where else, you know, you can't get it. And then the internet came out where we can buy things online, and you can go, you know, you don't need to go to Japan now. So yeah, I'm sharing the evolution, and now you've got guys, gentlemen like yourself, someone like me who's preparing for online workshops and teaching, and now sharing. Whoever wants to answer first, how do you guys feel on the fact of how the knowledge is being shared now? How are you seeing it in whatever capacity now? I mean, social media has taken Kyokushin to another level, obviously, with, I guess, like I shared at the start, there's no platform for, you know, there's no one group, there's no one magazine, there's no one newsletter for everyone to share updates, news, camps, you know, all the fantastic work that people are doing. So we've all had to create certain pages, and we've all had to create some things to keep us all afloat and across things. How have you guys seen the sharing, I guess is probably the best word, of what we're all trying to do?
I suppose most of our growth has come organically from our own work. To be fair, we didn't have definitely at the start a lot of organisations or a lot of groups sharing our contacts, but we had a lot of individuals that were following us. So in that respect, I mean, there's some pages out there that are sharing content all the time, and it's good that it's being shared, but sometimes it's always the same kind of angle, and we want to take multiple angles and share multiple different things. And I mean, we don't share anyone else's content on our page yet, but that's because we're so busy uploading our own stuff that we don't, I mean, me and Wes both work full time, for example. We literally don't have the time to be able to share a lot of the other stuff that's out there, because there's a lot of good stuff going on there, you know. I mean, even taking this aside, I was always looking on YouTube for potential exercises that were going to improve me. You know, maybe someone that I admired as a fighter in the past, you know, was taking a seminar. So, you know, you try and look up some details and things like that. Yeah. And that's the great thing with the internet and social media nowadays, is there's a wealth of knowledge out there, and you just need to kind of look around for it a little bit, because it's not always shared, because maybe it's not someone who's, you know, so to speak, flavor of the month on being shared at the moment. You know, and that's not to say that all of them people are no good that aren't getting shared, because it's not the case. Maybe that they're just a little bit low profile.
And there was one page that really gave us some extra way of sharing, and I think it's worth it to use what we're doing right now to really thank him. It's the One Kyokushin page. He was very he was very easy in giving us some space, giving us some moments, giving us some shares, which besides the very a lot of individual people doing the sharing, he gave us some help with that. So I was really,
he was probably the first, right? He's probably one of the first.
Yeah, Sammy.
And then obviously Sammy Tavakoli, I think his name is. Yeah, and obviously you mentioned us in like a YouTube post, which was fantastic as well. So thanks for that.
Well, that's the cool bit, you know, and that's the generation, I guess, of and the enthusiasm and energy that as to why I hit you guys up, and you know, and it was just because of the difference and because of the let's get it out there, you know, let's start sharing it. Why not? You know, we're all struggling in regards to our training angles because of COVID. Here's our chance, and let's continue on, because the biggest thing for Aussies and Kiwis is traveling. You know, to get to London, to get to the UK, it's 21 hours. To get to Sensei Taneo's camp, which I've been invited many times, and I speak Spanish, so I can talk to Jonathan in Spanish, and I'm like, mate, love to get there. It's going to be a day to get there, and then a 3-day camp there, and all. And I'm not whinging about. I'm not trying to make excuses of it. It's just very difficult, right? Yeah. And then you see from afar, I guess, is the other summary of this communication, or this friendship, is from afar. You know, it's like, oh, cool, look what they're doing, look what's happening, look what Jonathan's trying to do, look what Sensei Darren and Wes are trying to do. Let's back them, let's support them. You know, we can't just sit there and kind of go, oh yeah, you know, that's cool. No, it's good stuff. It's real good stuff. And I think that's again, you just used it then, Darren. You said, oh, is it the flavor of the month for a certain individual? Well, you know, we all kind of follow each other as such on Instagram and social media. And that is, you know, I was telling my Xian, in respect of the generation that we're in, this is it. This is how we all, you know, we can all communicate with each other. I could write to you guys, and we could write to each other 4 or 5 times just before coming online. And it was just a drop of a hat, where our Xians and your Hunchy, Darren, you know, your Hunchy and my Hunchy Eddie Emin and Hunchy Stephen, mate, they would have killed to be able to have, you know, had an opportunity to have, you know, caught up and had it effectively. Yeah, my Xian shares a story where Soso Oyama used to call the dojo in Melbourne in the early 80s on the phone, you know, like the bling bling phone. Yeah. And it was a pickup of the phone, and it was as simple as ticket for Hunchy Sensei, or Xian Eddie Sensei is waiting. And it was like, all right, cool, cheers, no worries, take it easy, bang. And it was just now we can send the itinerary of each other's flight details. It's just, and again, yeah. and that's the I guess the ecosystem I'm trying to work with here in why I've got you guys in the chat, because it's different, it's refreshing, it's new. We're trying to all help. You guys are trying to help as many people as you can, and that's what I'm getting for the listeners here in Australia and New Zealand more so, that listen to the shuffle. Got to check these guys out. They get some fantastic guests on. They're fun. It's different, you know. And the biggest thing in Australia is we all love camps, we all love seminars, but we can all attend so many, and you know, everyone's busy with full-time jobs. And then this is coming into it, and it's like, you know, to watch one of your classes, or you know, it's worth a seminar. It's worth easily a seminar of such.
Thank you. That's really nice. Yeah.
Thanks.
No. I guess from here, you know, you both have, you know, like you just said, full-time jobs, and and the cool bit is you're in the UK, you're in Holland, you know, so it's you know, it gives everyone out there a bit of an understanding of, hey, let's just do it, like let's just get it done. You know, am I with you? Is that something that you guys feel, you know, or now you are, because it's got legs, but you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's kind of, you having this?
No, go. No,
Oh yeah, no. Well, I'm sorry. The fun thing about this is, well, Darren and myself, we've been friends for a long time, and we've been training together as much as possible. As like he probably comes around 4 or 5 times a year to mine.
Okay.
I try to go as much as possible to his. We go to the same camps. We actually we were teaching last year together on the same camp, which are amazing times. And then all the time, every time we train together and we try to get as many people with us, we try to keep it as low key as possible. It's like, yes, we are a sensei, and yes, there's like the hierarchy within Kyokushin, but also we're just humans, and we just love to have fun. We love to give each other a kicking, and we just, you know, trying to take the mick out of each other as well. And that's what we kind of did. We were just actually, I think the first video was like, I will do this, and now look at Sensei Darren giving his show on this one technique, and we were just actually having fun and trying to be, you know, not take ourselves too serious. And I think that's probably which really strengthened our shows. We're just having a laugh. Yes, we're training hard, but we're just, you know, we're just enjoying Kyokushin, and I think that's what we all try to do, and that's when it gets easy. You do what you love is never a chore.
Yeah, I mean, we've said many a times that it's you know, it's such an enjoyable experience every single time we share the time together. Even, you know, like Wesley said, we've been friends for. We was actually talking about this not so long ago. I think probably when Wesley fought in the world tournament as a junior in 2006, was it? I think it was something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 2006 in Switzerland.
That we got together. Obviously, I'm a bit older than Wes, but I noticed him fighting at that tournament, and ever since then, you know, we've had fun together. We've had some really hard training sessions. You know, we've had some really good camps, and we've had some really good, enjoyable times. But they've all stemmed around the same kind of thing: karate, have fun, keep it loose, keep it relaxed, and, you know, let's try and help each other and progress each other. You know, we was never really envious of each other. You know, where's his success, my success, in the way that I see things. You know, and if we can help each other grow and develop and bring along a load of people with us, you know, I think we've always believed that there's no point in going somewhere alone. It's a very lonely place. You know, the more people, the more friends, the more people you can kind of get on this journey, not for a self-worth, but for everybody to enjoy the moment as well. I think that's the really great thing that I think is about our show. You know, loads of people are coming on, and maybe some of them we haven't even known before they come on, but we invite them in, have fun, have a good time. You know, hopefully it's for you, and you keep coming back. So yeah, it's a really, really good time, and it's been an amazing journey for many reasons.
Good on you. Good on you. So let's
something I'd like to that's just one thing I'd like to highlight on, and as we said, we try to make fun. It's like Darren, he makes all the posters and stuff like that for every Super Saturday, and we as I said, this is a very this is a very funny way on how things go, because we don't take each other seriously, and there's like the baddest photoshopping around to just take the mick out of each other, which is amazing. And we just like, if you look at the technical Tuesday where we have she and Janine most of the time helping us out with some kata, and we were just like trying to put some Joker heads on our cool pictures, which and I think that's the power of what we do. We just, you know, we're just having fun, a lot of fun.
It's called energy, lads, and from a distance, that energy is refreshing, you know, and it gives us it gives a cool angle of understanding the people / you two guys having a good time and enjoying what you're doing, which is really cool. Hey, so let's get to know you a little bit better here, and for the people listening. So I'll shoot a couple of questions to you, Darren, and then Wes, I'll shoot them to you as well. So Darren, who's your and they're going to be tough. They're going to be a little bit tough, but they're going to be fun as well. Who's your favorite Kyokushin fighter first, and then I'm alluding to stuff as we go. Who's your favorite Kyokushin fighter first?
it's really difficult, to be fair, because there's so many great fighters. I was a real big fan of Gary O'Neill, though. Not just because he's Australian like you, but I mean, he was incredible, absolutely phenomenal. He moved really well. He was flamboyant. He wasn't the heaviest person in the world either, much like myself in a lot of the tournaments I fought in. He was just incredible, you know, his fluidity, the way he moved, and he was a lot different to a lot of the people in that time, a bit like the Michael Thompsons and the Nick De Costas, you know, at that point in time, there was a lot of very static fighting and it just broke the mold. And I think me and Wes try to kind of do the same in the way that we fight, you know, rather than just being really static and efficient and really effective. We're trying to, you know, set the world on fire, so to speak. It may or may not happen. We don't know. But I think he's probably one of my favourites to watch.
So then, who's your favourite combat sports athlete? So, like in the mixture of whatever you follow, if it's UFC or if it's in regards, so you know, there's a Kyokushin angle, and then there's a combat fan.
Yeah. I liked a few K1 fighters. So like Andy Hug, I thought he was really exciting. Mike Tyson as a boxer. Jones, so that'll be actually an interesting fight coming up. So speaking about that, I think Mike Tyson was a devastating powerhouse. It was unbelievable and very explosive for a big guy, which kind of again broke the mold in the sense of not all big, heavy powerhouses are slow lumberjacks just kind of treading forward. So I think probably them, you know, a couple of them. Mike Tyson, I've always got time to watch Mike Tyson. I love watching him knock people out and, you know, and the way he trained.
Yeah.
Okay, he was maybe a little bit funny in a lot of other ways, but he's actual athlete.
You're not trying to be like him out of the ring. You're trying to be like him in the ring. Is how I gesture it to people.
No, I did lose an ear. But no, I mean, you know, there's so many, and Usain Bolt as well. He's just such an incredible athlete. He's taking it out of fighting, you know. Yeah. I always try to relate a lot of the stuff in kind of explosiveness and driving forward to Usain Bolt. He's quick off the blocks. He's on his toes all the time, and that's what's needed in fighting. You know, if you're going to be on your heels, you're going to be slow. And I always revert to Usain Bolt. And there's no way he's getting to the end of those 100 or 200 meters in 10 or 20 seconds if he's on his heels. And we need to kind of adopt the same as fighters. So, brilliant. I mean, there's so many great athletes out there.
No, you've taken it to the bit that I liked, and that's why I was just alluding to getting some of the people to understand what you see. Wes, who's your favorite Kyokushin fighter?
I have a few.
Go for it.
Gary O'Neill was definitely one of them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Gary O'Neill was definitely one of them. His techniques were superb. Mick Thompson, I think he was probably one of the best there's been. From out of Holland, I've always had one very big. I was always a big fan of him. His name was Eric Constancia. He's what an amazing gentleman he is. In all fairness, and I've said this before, and I'm not going to be lying about this. I've always looked up to Darren. In the moments he was fighting. I was like a 10 or 11-year-old boy when he was fighting in the British. I was just seeing him and I was thinking, yes, this is very, very good. So yeah, in terms of that, I've always been honest about this. I've looked up to him, and I think there is a reason why. So, you know, he's amazing. So I'm glad to share the podium with him.
Have you got a combat meaning, you know, in any capacity?
Yes. Yeah. Well, he kind of stole the thunder as well. And Mike Tyson, the tenacity he's having is oh my God, what a killer he was. I love his intensity in the way he does things. I'm a big fan. If you look at like UFC, I like UFC. So I've always been a big fan of Bas Rutte. He's Dutch and he's an amazing fighter. And if you look at the UFC right now, I'm a big fan of Magomed Sharipov. The thing is, he's not he's not a world champ right now, and he might not even be a world champ ever, but this guy is entertaining. He does the craziest things, and I always kind of refer to myself. I've never been a world champion, and I'm probably not going to be a world champion because I retired fighting. But I did always entertain people. And when I was at a tournament, people knew about me, and they knew there was a big chance of a big knockout, and that's what I always try to do, to be entertaining, and the people think, hey, that's Wes, or when Wes is there, right, it's gonna be good. And so this is what I really like about Zabit. The guy is amazing. He's oh my god.
Yeah,
fantastic.
And no, very cool. And I appreciate you both sharing that, because here in Oz, UFC is very big, very strong. We've got a couple of champions, Volkanovski, Robert Whittaker, Mark Hunt's pedigree, and we've just got some mean dudes, walking around. And but what I'm alluding to with understanding some of your thoughts on who you like and don't like, it's interesting to hear Gary, and I'm not trying to tease it here with you lads, but have you ever, because Sensei Gary has been, I guess, absent is probably the nicest word in putting, in respect of doing things. But last year he was at Xian Judge Reed's camp here in Melbourne, and we all, so I might have, I'll share my notes with you lads in regards to his footwork stuff. I'm sure Xian Cameron may have already gestured it to you both, but he's got a footwork routine that can go from anywhere between 20 minutes to 40 minutes. And it's just footwork alone, just basic exercises. It'll blow you away. But Xian Cameron obviously showed a fair chunk of it to him, but he did that at the camp, and it was unreal how you would think he would deep dive straight into, a set or something. And it was, okay, let's do all the jumping. It's footwork, jumping forward, jumping back, side to side. And it was unreal. I guess from here, guys, in just getting your understanding, where are you, Darren, Sensei, how are you seeing, I guess, you said your dojo as such is only once a week, and then because I'll break some news to you here. And when I was talking to Xian Cameron, he said that you had also fought in a world tournament that I had fought in. So can we jump a little bit here and go into, I'm thinking it was 2012 in Toyama. Were you there?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was.
Right, yeah.
Jonathan came second.
That's it. Yeah. There you have it.
So I was actually fortunate enough to be. I know Jonathan really well as well. Probably got to know him maybe a little bit before that, maybe a couple of years before that. And then I kind of put him in touch with a couple of the tournaments that we were holding in the IFK. So he started to come in a little bit more. And I went to camps, and then we was all in Russia and stuff together. And Wes was around for a lot of them times. But yeah, I went to the Toyama. It was a bit of a last minute really, because I had a tournament. I think it was like 4 or 5 weeks before that, and Japan's like a long way to go and a lot of money to spend, and not really get the best out of the situation. So I was kind of waiting until after the tournament to see how I was feeling before I went in, because it was open weight as well.
It was.
Obviously, being a little lightweight, it's a big ask, and you need to make sure that you're on form. So yeah, it was really good. It was a long journey though, because I had to fly to, I think it was Osaka, and then get the bullet train all the way up to Toyama, which was a journey. But it's a fantastic experience. I fought in Japan a couple of times. I would have liked to have fought in a couple more, to be fair. But yeah, it was really good. And I lost to Kikiyama, who recently passed, actually. I think the decision was personally a little bit harsh, and so did a lot of other people. But great experience, really good place to go. Had I won that, I think I would have fought Jonathan Redondo in the following round.
Spaniard,
would have been the top 8 or something like that. So it was a pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh, that's good, mate. I lost to Sato, the heavyweight. He came 6th or 7th. I lost him in the second. We had a Nikiwaki, and then I lost to him he's 97, and you know, like you, I was weighing 80. Well, not you. I was 82. He was 90, 96, 97.
Yeah.
Just big dude. But that's cool. That's good to. I guess we've shared something there. But I guess I'm getting to something here with what's just happening and how the growth. And this is the theme of just finishing up here. And again, like I said to Sensei Darren and Wes, hopefully we can grab you guys every month or every 6 weeks and just keeping the relationship going, sharing with us who your guests are, and then, you know, keeping the themes and, you know, just keeping that interactivity in front of mind for all the listeners, because it just continues on the growth. And this is the theme here. So the growth of what you're, I guess, doing for each one of you at the minute is to what? Like, can you share a bit of, you know, you Wes, you just said earlier at the start, you said you have I guess a vision, and you know, share with us a little bit of it so we can get a grasp, and then Darren, you can finish this off.
Yeah, no worries. Almost.
Yeah, well, yeah, the vision we both share is that when you do something, you got to do it for the full 100%. And I think, and she and Judd told us that when he was teaching in the UK, we both went to the session. He was like, there wasn't any secrets in the things we did. We were just training so hard, and we just everything we did, we gave 100%. And if you're doing Kihon, if you're doing Kata, if you're doing Kumite, you got to do it with the full 100% that you'd like to do, and try to be as versatile as possible. You can always say, yeah, I've been doing this for so many years now in this same way, but try to make a step or think outside of the box. That will get you better, because, well, both myself and Darren, we only got better than we are by training and learning from other people, and by going outside, because we were good in something we've already known, but we only got better by going outside. So that's probably a big part of the vision. We try to give you as much as possible, and you try to get it in and make it happen.
No, that's good. That's good. Go for it, Sensei Darren.
I think very similar. I think obviously me and Wes, we first of all, we love what we do. You know, we really enjoy helping people, giving people advice, hopefully progressing them, and we've had some really positive feedbacks about the classes and courses that we've done. We'd love longer term to keep this going 100%. We want to be able to actually do it live with people, so we want to be able to run some courses in actual person, because as good as online content is, you never get that interaction. Maybe if you were there to kind of help someone and say, well, you're missing this bit, is the crucial link to actually making this happen. And that's one thing that it would be very time consuming within a lesson online to actually do that, because you'd have to zoom into the person, go, I don't know, this way, whereas you can kind of help the person move them around. But yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I think it's for all Kyokushin people to kind of to get better, to improve, and that's not to say that we're going to be the only ones to be able to do that, but we might be one of the ones that give them ideas on diversity, other ways to potentially train, other ways to throw techniques, other ways to do X, Y, and Z, and hopefully they have fun while they're doing it. Because I think a real important thing to success is it's a huge amount of work. Me and Wesley, we were talking about this, I think it was on Tuesday actually, after the lesson. We were just chatting for like an hour and a half after we actually finished the session, and we were just talking about how, you know, no one really sees what you give up in order to make things like this happen. You know, all of our friends were going to nightclubs, they were going out drinking, you know, they were doing all of this. And me and Wesley, and not just me and Wesley, many other athletes as well were turning around saying, nah, I can't do that. I've got training. Nah, I've got training tomorrow. Nah, I've got a tournament in 10 weeks time. Yeah, but it's 10 weeks time. Surely you can have a drink. I can have a drink. I don't want to have a drink because I want to be successful in this tournament. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
It's all of them things, hard work, dedication, all of that goes hand in hand. But famous golfer called Jack Nicklaus, he said it the best. He said, you will only truly be superior in something that you truly love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you don't have love and affection and feelings for something, you will never truly be as good as what you can do. So if you can have fun and enjoy it, something and be good at it all at the same time, hey, then
legend.
Come and join us all in Kyokushin, because I don't know a single person in Kyokushin that doesn't enjoy what they do, have fun while they're doing it, and see, as Wesley said, make loads and loads of friends. There's a lot of other sports out there that will give you maybe lots of money, lots of prestige, I suppose, in a famous area. I personally don't understand why Kyokushin doesn't have that same pedigree in kind of exposure, because what we actually do, in my humble opinion, and maybe biased as well, is that we are really good as organizations, as people, as you know, as friendships and everything that goes around karate is a fantastic place to be.
Yeah.
You know, I don't understand why millions of people aren't wanting to roll the dojo down the road, and then maybe it'd be as big as MMA and the sponsorships would roll in.
Yeah.
It's not all about that, but hey, let's face it, money
doesn't hurt.
Makes the world go round, and without it, we ain't paying no bills.
Gentlemen, that's great. Thank you for sharing all of that. And I guess just to finish off here, so let's give everyone a bit of an idea. So I think you guys have got a class on now, which I won't be able to put up until tomorrow. But for those that listen to this at the minute, go and check out, who do you have today as your guest, as if that makes sense. We've
got Sasha De Costa, a Swiss fighter. Well, actually, he's from Geneva, I think. But we've known him for a really long time. We've had many good times with him, but now we get to share the stage with him as well. He's a really nice guy. He's fought in Kyokushin World Tournaments and a lot of other tournaments as well. Runs his own dojo. Yeah, it's going to be a really good time today, as it is every week, to be fair, and we're really looking forward to it.
All right.
If you look at him, he's been also in the Kyokushin World Tournament in 2016 in Japan when I was there as well. Yeah. He's a very efficient fighter. He has a flamboyant style, but only uses it when it's necessary. And I think there's actually a big knockout of him doing in the last World Tournament of the Kyokushin. So he's a good fighter, good friend, very nice gentleman. So we can't wait for him.
You just raised one more. So you fought in the I fought in the Kyokushin in 2016. You were there too?
Yeah. I was actually on the poster.
Wicked.
Mine's
in the dojo. Mine's in the dojo. I had a look.
Yeah, if you look at the poster, I was at under the left below.
All right,
that was me. I fought there.
No disrespect.
And I fought in the All Japan in 2015, the open weight, where they didn't told me it was an open weight tournament. So I was like 69.8 kilograms. And then I was like, when do we have to weigh in and the checkup? He's like, there is no weigh in.
Oh shit!
It's open weight. So yeah, they're fantastic. Very good times there.
And I guess for the listeners there, and I mean it with all respect. I was telling the lads earlier. I don't come in with questions. I try not to be that guy that tries to talk on their behalf. I want the guests to talk on their behalf, and with respect, Darren, you and I were in the same tournament 212. Wes, we're in the same tournament 216, and I've shared this before from my end. In respect, I get in and I get out of Japan. I get, with my job and my family and my kids, I get the chance to go. And I put everything into it, and then sayonara party, of course, you can't miss that, and then get the hell out of there and go home. Because I've done the tourist stuff, but we'll talk about that another time. Fellas, thank you so much. It's a start, and I hope it's something for the listeners to get a grasp of. Two awesome senseis from the other side of the planet who are, you know, devoted and dedicated and passionate, and in respects of sharing their knowledge and doing something so cool and so different and refreshing for all of us in Kyokushin and in martial arts, because Kyokushin is a branch of you know, so many different styles, and you know, Ashihara, Kudo. There's so many different variations, so many different cool people in all these different styles of full contact karate, and they can all grab something out of you guys. So keep up the good work. Let's stay in touch as best we can. I'll do my best from my end, but in summary, go for it, Darren, and then go for it, Wes, and then we'll sign off with a big horse.
Yeah, I mean, a huge thanks to yourself, Sensei Pat and Kyokushin Shuffle, for having us on. You know, it's a huge pleasure to do this with you. We've spoken a little bit in the past anyway, and as it turns out, we've all been in the same places too. It's a huge pleasure for us, and anytime people, you know, want to share experiences like this, I think it's a fantastic thing, because I don't think there's enough of it potentially in Kyokushin, because historically, there's always kind of been that hierarchy, you know, we can't talk to these people because maybe they're superstars or they've won this. At the end of the day, we're all people, you know, and even outside of karate, we've had many people that are going, us Sensei Darren, us Sensei Wes. We're like, oh, we're not in a dogi now. We're Darren. Okay, we're just people, and that's how we try and approach things, you know. And I think you know, if people do want to approach us, and I'm sure you're very much the same, you definitely have been with us anyway, that, you know, ask the questions. You know, if you want to come on and join us, great. If you've got any suggestions or questions, awesome. But let's do it all together, and let's keep moving forward together, and let's make Kyokushin a better place to be in terms of technicality and everything. But big figures yourself, and keep up the good work yourself, because it's fantastic what you're doing.
Go for it, Wes.
Yeah, well, there's always a lot to say, but a big thank you to you for giving us the airtime. That's how I see it. It's the thing you do, and the thing people do with doing podcasts like this. It's you really create the atmosphere, and you really create a Kyokushin as it should be, to make friendships, to share knowledges, and to just get to know each other. And that's what it's all about. So big thank you for that. I think Darren has said a lot about what we try to do, and we had a very, very good conversation. And to be fair, I can't wait for the next one, and hopefully doing this live once, because this is all good and fun. But
yeah,
it'd be good to
it'd be great for us
to do it in person.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep it going. And this is I guess a thing that I wanted you guys to be a part of, more so because I can see there's similar synergies. So thank you both for your time. Thanks for you know, giving it up as such, and good luck with everything that you keep doing. Stay safe with COVID. From all of us in Australia, jump on the YouTube channel. Darren, can you get a window here, sorry, to say the channel just as such, so I don't stuff it up?
The YouTube channel, so we're KRT Tips and Tricks, is our Facebook site, and YouTube. If anybody wants to email us with any information, it's krt.tt2020@gmail.com. Just drop us an email. If you want to join in any of the sessions, we'll send you the links, no problem. If you want to join in live, if not, catch us on the YouTube channel. Yeah, and
fantastic.
Thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
Also, everyone, thanks for joining us, and thank you guys. Have a safe day and keep kicking ass. We really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Big pleasure.